Hello guys, Christian Vedder here, and this is the Big Breath Hold with David Lockert. The Big Breath Hold is the show where we take regular people who have no previous experience with holding their breath and we test how long they can hold without any training. Then we do 3 rounds of warm-up breath holds where I teach them how to breathe, what is happening to the body, and what they are to do to hold their breath for as long as possible. This week we are doing the breath hold with David Lockert. David lives in Tulum, Mexico, together with Siriana, who we had on the show last week. He has no previous experience in holding his breath, and he has not trained or exercised in 4 months. Before that, he did yoga 3 times a week, and he did some cold exposure training, which may help him endure the discomfort at the end of the breath holds. If you want to see more about David and what he is about, there's a link to his Instagram in the description, and you can see his Instagram name in the bottom right of the screen. So as you can see, we are now doing the test to see how long he can hold. To prepare for the breath hold, the only thing he was asked to do was not eat 4 to 6 hours before we do the test. That's because eating right before reduces your capability of holding your breath, as digesting food uses energy and oxygen, and having a full stomach pushes against your diaphragm, making it less flexible and making the breath hold much more uncomfortable. What we have seen with the other people we have done this with is at the first breath hold without any preparation, they are usually able to do from 45 seconds and up to 2 minutes at the longest. And as you can see with David here, he gets out of the water at 1 minute and 38 seconds, which is inside what is expected. Now we're going to do 3 rounds of warm-up breath holds where I also instruct them on breathing technique, how to deal with the contractions, how to relax, and other tips that will help him maximize his breath hold. For every round he's doing, his breath hold increases. In the test we did 1 minute and 38 seconds. And in the second round, after breathing with the correct breathing technique and being told how to relax and deal with the contractions, he did astonishing 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Which is a very good improvement on the second round. On the third round, he did 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And now, as you can see, we have skipped the video of all the preparation and he has already started his final breath hold. And while he is holding his breath, I will go through some of the things we did during the preparation. Number 1, never hold your breath underwater alone. This is the most important, since if you are to pass out underwater when you're alone, you will drown. And drowning is very uncomfortable and usually leads to death, which is not desirable. Number 2, do not eat 4 to 6 hours before you hold your breath. That is why most freedivers do their breath hold training in bed in the morning. Just try it for yourself and you will see the difference. Try to eat right before, and then next time you try to not eat for 6 hours and then try to hold your breath, and you'll see the improvement is huge. Number 3, lay down or get as relaxed as possible when preparing to hold. Standing up or moving around will limit your hold a lot. For me, I prefer laying in the water, just relaxing completely, because if I lay in my bed, I can't completely relax. There's always something uncomfortable, while when you're in the water, you're just floating and there's no pressure on your body anywhere. Number 4, correct breathing technique, and this is very important. Do not hyperventilate. That would be breathing in and out fast, so you get lightheaded. When you hyperventilate, you get rid of a lot of the CO2 in your lungs and your body. It is the CO2 in your lungs that makes you feel the need to breathe, not the lack of oxygen. So when you hyperventilate, the feeling of need to breathe comes later and often too late. Hyperventilation may cause you to suddenly pass out underwater without any warning. And as we said in tip number 1, that is not ideal. If you feel that you're getting lightheaded while breathing, you're probably hyperventilating. Instead, I suggest you breathe slowly in for 4 seconds, hold about a second, and then breathe out for 8 seconds. If you feel you're getting lightheaded, you are breathing too fast or too heavily. Number 5, do warm-up breath holds. Use the breathing technique I just told you. Breathe for 2 minutes, then hold as long as you can. Breathe for 2 minutes, hold as long as you can again. Do this 3 or 4 times. You're now ready to do a maximum breath hold. To prepare for the maximum breath hold, breathe for 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure you're completely relaxed and not tense in any muscles. That either if you're in your bed or in water. Just Go through your body and feel that every muscle is relaxing. The warm-up breath holds are partly to get your body used to holding the breath, but also because on the first hold you usually can't relax maximum. But after 3 to 4 rounds, it's easier to completely disconnect from the surroundings and what is happening around you and just focus on your breath and what your body is doing. Number 6, wear a diving mask or goggles and a nose clip. That will stop water from entering your nose. Water in the nose is annoying, and being annoyed will for sure not help you relax. Many professional freedivers don't use masks or goggles for static breath holds, just a nose clip. That is to maximize the mammalian diving reflex. The mammalian diving reflex is your body reacting to getting water on your face with slowing down your pulse to save oxygen. This reflex can be trained if you hold your breath in water often. For this to work best, the water should be colder than your face is. Number 7, try to fall asleep. When you're holding your breath, you should try to not think at all. Just lay down, relax everything, and almost try to fall asleep. If you're starting to think about stuff, that will limit your breath hold, because your brain uses a lot of oxygen. Even just thinking about how long you have done is limiting to your hold. Number 8, contractions. After holding your breath for a little while, you will feel small cramp-like contractions in your diaphragm or stomach. This is normal and you should just let them happen. If you try to fight them, you will use a lot of oxygen and energy. Dealing with contractions gets easier over time, but they will always be there and you cannot get rid of them. Number 9, training tables. The previous tip is things you can do today. This one is more if you want to train to hold your breath over time. Then you can do CO2 and O2 training tables. CO2 training tables will help you resist the buildup of CO2 in your lungs more. And the O2 training tables will help you train your oxygen limit. If you want to learn more about training tables, you can take a look at my 30-day challenge. There is a link in the description below.